So for the first time, we're gonna react to a comment because there are points that this guy raised and I thought that I should look into them. Do you see this big-headed guy? It is said that he's the one who created the white people. Apparently, white people were not made by God. They were made by this group of scientists called the Yakub. So without wasting my time and your time, make sure that you hit the bell so that you can be notified every time we post a new episode, and don't forget to subscribe. Why did I start with hitting the bell? So here's how this comment starts. I know this is going to sound like a heresy. Whenever people want to be heretical, they start off by saying that. So already I knew that you're going to be heretical by just saying that. Mind you, this is not to bash anybody. This is not to destroy anybody's character. I have a feeling that if I knew this guy personally, I was going to like him. So yeah, let's continue. There's a part where he says that our ancestors created this universe. Where do these black people get the power to create this earth? Where does their divinity lie? I mean, if they had some kind of divinity, if black people had some kind of divinity, when white people came here and colonized them and took their lands and whatever, don't you think that they were gonna protect themselves because of they have this power within themselves? I don't know, but don't you think that they were gonna protect themselves in a way? So you are telling me that black people watched fellow black people get enslaved while they had so much power? I mean, if you could create the earth, it means that you could protect yourself from those who came to harm you. There's no scientific evidence that the earth was created by a human being. I can't even give you logical explanations. But here's why we believe the story of the Bible. Apart from the fact that there are thousands of Hebrew manuscripts and over 5,800 Greek manuscripts, over 10,000 Latin manuscripts, and over 9,300 manuscripts in other languages. So there's a lot of archaeological evidence that we see. The Tel Den stone, it contains Aramaic inscriptions and it mentions the house of King David. It dates back to the 9th century. And then we have what is called the Moabite stone. And this stone dates back to 840 BCE. And it was discovered by Frederick Klein. So this stone references the God of the Bible, whom we call Yahweh. We also have the Pilate stone, named after Pilate, the man who sentenced Jesus Christ to death. And crazy enough, it was discovered in 1961. So the crazy thing about this stone is that it provides evidence for the existence of Pontius Pilate, the same man who sentenced Jesus Christ to death. We have archaeological evidence that proves the Bible to be accurate. We can come up with theories and say, black people created the universe. But the truth is, there is no evidence for that. Now you know the divinity of God. Now it's possible that God will say a word and something will happen. But for a black human being, I'm a black dude, you are a black dude, you cannot say something simply saying, let my fridge be full. Nothing will happen. So this tells us that you are not gods, you are human beings. According to this guy, our ancestors led the white man to rule for over 6,000 years. Which brings me to this question. If your ancestors willingly so, they gave the white people power and dominion over you, Why are you angry at the white people? Because of they were given. Like, listen, this land is yours. Listen, all these things are yours. The wealth is yours. All of these things are yours. Have them. And then you can also have these black people as your slaves. Why are you angry at the white people? You gave them the right to make you slaves. So why are you angry at them? Because of you gave them that right. He said, our ancestors let the white man rule us for 6,000 years. So I don't know, maybe he will explain it, because he comments on every video that I make. So I think he'll explain it. Now we are at the point that I've always wanted, right? The point, I think I won't react to the whole comment because it's too long. So I'm gonna react. This is the last point that I'm reacting on. He says that white people were created by a group of scientists called the Yakub. Now, let us go back a little bit. Let us check the origin of this Yakub he's talking about. This big-headed guy, the Yakub, I think is a group of scientists. The Yakub only exists in the nation of Islam. Nowhere else in history. If you search it right now, you can go to Google right now and search Yakub, Yakub. The first time they appear is in the nation of Islam. Now, why am I not surprised? The story of the Yakub originates in the writings of Wallace Muhammad. And Wallace Muhammad is the founder of the nation of Islam. So the Yakub originates in his writings. There's nowhere else where you find these guys. If you go to YouTube, you find so many videos about them. I think they say they came from space, they were aliens and whatnot. I don't know, but the story of this thing is unrealistic, illogical, false. It's fiction. You know, the difference between these so-called scientists and Jesus Christ is that with Jesus Christ, there are eyewitnesses. There are people who saw Jesus Christ. There are people who ate with Jesus Christ. But we see these scientists who created the white people. That's what it said. So there's no evidence for these so-called scientists. There's no archaeological evidence that at some point the moon blew up and these scientists fell on Earth or whatever. I don't know what happened to them, but the story goes along that route. There's no logical sense to this story, right? And I don't know what disqualifies this whole creation story of the Yakub is that why does it only exist in the nation of Islam? I mean, Jesus Christ, you even find him in the Quran. The only thing that the Muslims do not agree with when it comes to Jesus Christ is that he is God. They don't agree with that he is God, but they agree that Jesus Christ really died on the cross. People who wrote about Jesus Christ, even his enemies wrote about him. You must be special as a black person to say that, you know, the concept of Jesus Christ was made to brainwash you. Imagine me sitting down and say, let me write a Bible. After writing a Bible, let me create so many manuscripts. Come on, like, do you have so much time? Who has so much time? Because writing these things would take us years and years and years, only to brainwash one race. the Yakub and whatnot, they never existed. That's just science fiction, and it only exists in the nation of Islam, nowhere else. So there's no way. I don't know. Maybe you people need new evidence. You need to create more things to come. But lying won't just win in this debate, right? So I don't know. But the story of the Yakub is not true. It is baseless. There's no evidence of their existence, and it's a lie. So yeah, that's it for today. Until next time, God bless.